All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're talking about something huge, how Tijuana became this absolute powerhouse for global manufacturing. It's not magic, it's a really smart mix of money-saving incentives and some serious strategic moves. Let's break it down.
Okay, let me ask you this. Could you slash your operational costs by half? I know, for most people in charge, that number sounds totally impossible, right? Like a complete fantasy. But stick with me, because we're about to show you how some of the biggest names out there are doing exactly that right now.
And look, this is not just some made-up number for a slide. We are talking about a real, potential 40 to 50% drop in your total operating costs if you're comparing it to a plant in the U.S. How? Well, it all boils down to this incredible stack of incentives they put together.
All right, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the big picture, the Tijuana equation. Then we'll dig into the IMMEX program, the tax and border perks, and the full support system you get. After that, we'll hit the numbers and finish with the big strategic question you should be thinking about.
Okay, Section 1, the Tijuana equation. And right off the bat, let's be clear. This goes way beyond just saving on labor. You have to look at the whole economic picture.
And that is really the secret sauce here. It's not one thing. Think of it like a recipe. It's this really sophisticated framework where all these legal and tax incentives are layered on top of each other. They compound, and together they create this incredible operational advantage.
So where do we start? Well, at the very foundation of this whole thing is something called the IMMEX program. This is the federal engine that really makes everything else possible.
Yeah, so the IMMEX program, you might also hear it called the Maquiladora program, is an absolute game changer. It totally flips the script on your cost structure. Imagine being able to bring in all your raw materials, all your machinery, completely duty-free. Right away, a massive chunk of cost and complexity just disappears. As long as the final product gets exported, you're golden. And when you dig into the details, it gets even better. Obviously, paying zero import duties is a huge win, but check this out. Getting VAT refunds in 20 days instead of the usual 90? That's a massive injection of cash flow right back into your business. Plus, the streamlined customs paperwork, that just means less red tape, fewer headaches, and your whole operation moves faster.
And this isn't just stuff on paper. Take a look at a real-world company, DJO Global. They make medical devices. Not only did they use these incentives, but their Tijuana facility became their most productive plant in the entire world. And listen to this, they managed to cut their product lead times by a mind-blowing 80%. That's just incredible.
Okay, so we've got the federal program. Now let's layer on the next piece of the puzzle, the massive advantages that come from Tijuana's geography. Being right on the U.S. border isn't just a location, it's a financial accelerator. Just look at these numbers. The corporate tax rate in this special border zone is 20%. The standard rate for the rest of Mexico, 30%. That's a one-third discount on your biggest tax bill. That one thing right there is a huge immediate saving that you get year after year.
And it just keeps getting better. The VAT you pay on local stuff is half the normal rate. You get duty-free access to both the U.S. and Canada because of the USMCA. And maybe the biggest deal of all, you can ship your finished goods to a U.S. warehouse in 24 to 48 hours. Try doing that from Asia. You just can't compete with that speed.
You want to see this in action? Look at Samsung. Their TV factory there is one of the biggest in the Americas. And here's their brilliant strategy. They use the IMMEX program to import all the high-tech parts from Asia totally duty-free. Then, they use all these border advantages to assemble the TVs and ship them into the U.S. market in like a day. It's this perfect combination of cost savings and lightning-fast logistics. That's how they dominate.
So you've got the federal government, you've got the border advantages, but it doesn't even stop there. The support system goes all the way down to the local level, making it a real partnership.
And this is really smart. Instead of you having to negotiate for months, Tijuana's local government has this super transparent points-based system. It's simple. Create a certain number of jobs, you get a property tax break. Invest a certain amount of capital, they waive certain fees. It gives you predictability. And big players like Foxconn have used this system to get up and running way faster and cut those initial startup costs. And what if you want to move even faster with even less hassle? Well, there's this really clever model called a shelter company. Basically, you get to operate under an existing company's legal umbrella. You get access to all the incentives, the tax breaks, the duty-free imports, but you skip all the complicated, time-consuming work of setting up your own legal entity in Mexico. It's like a fast pass from manufacturing. All right, so we've seen how all the individual pieces work.
Now let's zoom out and look at the big picture. The numbers here really tell the story of just how massive and mature this whole ecosystem is.
I mean, just look at this. We're talking about almost 600 companies, over 250,000 employees. This is not some new experiment. This is a deeply established industrial hub. And you can see these huge world-class clusters that have formed. Medical devices, electronics, and aerospace alone accounts for nearly a third of all aerospace jobs in Mexico. The talent and the infrastructure are already there.
So what does this all mean for one company? Well, the impact is just staggering. Check out this real-world example of a mid-sized aerospace company. Compared to operating just a few miles away in Southern California, they're saving almost $6 million every single year. That's not from one thing. That's the combined power of the labor, the taxes, and the logistics all working together. Okay, so this all leads to our final and, honestly, our most important point. It's time to shift how we think about this whole thing.
Because this isn't just about finding the cheapest place to make something. If that's all you see, you're missing the bigger strategic play. This is about building a smarter, faster, more resilient North American supply chain. It's about combining all these financial parks with real, top-tier manufacturing.
And if you have any doubt, just look at this list. Samsung, Medtronic, Honeywell, Toyota. These aren't small companies taking a risk. These are the best, smartest, most successful companies in the world. This is a well-worn, proven strategy that leaders in every single major industry are using.
So when you put it all together, the question really changes, doesn't it? The opportunity is obvious, the benefits are real, we've seen the proof. It's not about whether Tijuana offers these incredible incentives anymore. The real question is, can your company afford to ignore them, especially when you know for a fact that your competitors aren't?